Welcome to this wrist care practice. We're going to be taking some time to really take care of our wrists today and figure out how we can grow stronger with them. So just take a moment and find your seat. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Find your breath, find your awareness. And just checking in with your own experience in your wrists. We're going to bring the hands together. Interlace the fingers, keeping the elbows bent. Begin to move the hands in kind of like a figure eight, just warming up the wrists a little bit and starting to get some movement into those joints. You can go in the opposite direction as well. And don't worry too much about how that movement turns out. And then just shake off the hands for a moment. From here, we're going to bring the hands straight out in front in fists and do what we call blinking lights. So you're just flashing your fingers or stretching your fingers forward and back into fists multiple times, and just keep going. You'll start to feel your forearms get a little bit hot or strong. You can give yourself a little shake out. And then we're going to take the same action but out to the side. So bring your arms wide, and same thing here, just flicking as though you're trying to send water off of your fingertips. And just keep going a few times here as well. Working on some arm strength and coordination there, and then shaking it out. Let that go for a second. Notice how that's feeling. We're going to bring the hands together in prayer, and then start to draw your wrists down so that they're in line with your elbows. You can come into a little stretch there, and then rotate your fingertips away from your body, down towards the floor, and then back up. So you're just going as far as feels doable in your body. Sometimes we don't have as much range of motion here, and that's okay. And then you can hold the fingertips pointing downwards and take a few nice cycles of breath right there. When you're ready, bring them back upright and press your right fingertips into your left hand and then switch over. So just a little extra pressure or a little bit extra opening in the front or the palm of the hand. Shake everything out again. And we'll move whatever we're sitting on to the side and come onto your hands and knees. And we're going to take a little bit of a stretch here for the wrists. So you're going to take your fingertips pointing towards your knees. And very slowly, and you can do this one hand at a time or both, you're just going to start to try to get your fingertips down, then the knuckles, moving towards the wrist. So go slow. And don't force anything to happen here. If you want to take more weight into the hands, you can lift your hips and walk the hands forward. And for less pressure, you'll have your hands closer to your body. And be careful here not to lock your elbows so that the stretch comes up the forearms. Give yourself a little break. And then we're just going to reverse the hands so the backs of the palms, fingertips pointing towards the knees, come down. Just a tiny bit of pressure on and off there. Again, just be mindful if this feels good where you're at, if you need more or less weight. And you can take it in increments. You don't need to stay there for a long time. You can kind of go in and out of it. And then always a little moment just to move the wrists, take a break, roll them out. Notice how they're feeling right now. I like to do these little circular motions there. And then we're going to place one hand down. So you can take your right palm down, hold on to the right arm or the right forearm with your left hand. And from your kneeling position, start to lift your hips up and down, keeping the right arm really straight. You can bring your right hand further out if you're able to bear more weight in the wrist, or keep it close and just take a little less weight. And then you can try the same thing, but with your hand in the reverse position. So your fingertips are pointing towards your body rather than away. And again, you can move closer or further away. And each time you're shifting your weight into your hand and then coming back out of it. So sort of incrementally building strength, building that stretch. And then the last direction is to have your fingertips pointing out to the side. And you can do like a little circle right above your wrist here. Again, take your hips back. And you can try that closer or further away depending on how your wrist is responding. And going in either direction, inhaling and exhaling, always staying steady with your awareness on your breath. And bring that back to sitting and just check out how that right side is feeling. You can draw your wrist in into a little flex with a fist and then stretch it back out. And let's do that a few times. This will strengthen your forearm as well. And just bringing your knuckles in towards the forearm and then shake that out. And then we're ready to take this on the other side. So you can go ahead and bring your left hand down. You can start off here with our fingers turned sideways and just start to shift the weight forward over the wrist and then pull back. And you can move closer and further away depending on what you need. It could be the same or you can be varying it as well. Shaking out the wrist. And then we're going to shift our direction here so that the fingertips are pointing to the front edge of the mat. And starting off with the hand maybe closer, and then seeing if when you shift forward, you're able to take more weight, bear more weight in that wrist. And keep holding and steadying that left arm with your right hand as you move in and out of this. And one more time, just forward and back. Let's shift our fingertips now towards us. And we're going to do that same action, just rocking your weight forward and back and coming into that stretch and coming out of it. So remember, you don't have to move the hand further away from the body if it's already pretty intense where you are, but just monitoring how far into this you need to go. And as you finish that, we're going to take those little circles with the fingertips pointing out to the side. So go ahead and plant your left hand with the fingertips pointing towards the outer edge of your mat, and then circle your body above the wrist. And again, you can move this a little further away to bear more weight, and you can take some weight off by sinking back towards your heels a little bit more. And we'll just do that a little action a couple more times here. And then go ahead and release and sit back onto your heels. Let's make the fist again. Hold on to your forearm. And we're going to curl that fist inwards towards the forearm and then release. And so you're bringing your knuckles in towards the forearm and back. And you'll feel your forearm muscles nice and strong there. And then you can go ahead and shake out both hands. And just wiggle that left wrist a little bit. See how it's doing. From here, we're going to practice building some strength in a fist position, bearing weight. This is a great alternative for being on your wrists, and you can build some strength there. You can take one hand off, shift your weight forward and back, and just feel that strength. And then bringing your right hand to face the outer edge of your mat. We're going to take our left hand onto the front of the right shoulder and just open up a little twist here. We'll feel that up the inside of the arm and come back to neutral. And just rotating your body away from the wrist, basically. And just doing that again, inhaling and exhaling. And then go ahead and release your left fist to the mat. We're going to switch over, so holding on to that fist here, bring your right hand to the top of your left shoulder. And here we're going to kind of stabilize in the shoulder. And just feeling that weight, that body. Getting a little bit of strength there. And then we're switching to the flat palm, turning the fingers outwards. Hold on to the shoulder again. And we're just going to open up towards the right side. So we're not letting the shoulder dip forward. I'm going to keep that right in place and then just moving the right side away from that fixed left side. Nice stretch there. One more time, lifting and bringing it back to neutral. And then releasing the right palm and the left palm. And just coming into a tabletop. We can flip the left wrist around, fingertips pointing towards you. And here again in your table position, you can bear more weight by shifting forward, or you can kind of just shift forward and back gently there. Be pretty easy going here, so you can determine how much weight you want to bear. And then we're just going to take the same for the right hand. So flipping your right hand, so the back of the hand is on the mat, fingers pointing towards you. And here again, either hold it or rock forward and back. Just giving yourself a little bit of a stretch there. And sit back on your heels and just notice how things are feeling. And then we're going to come up to standing to do a little bit of a stretch for the whole inside of the arm, all the way down through the fingertips. We'll start off with a bent arm, bringing your forearm down to the wall or onto a wall, and taking a lunge. So if the right hand is on the wall, you can bend into your left knee and step your right foot back. And this is going to kind of target into your pec area, into the front of the shoulders and coming down your arm. What I like to do here is kind of move my head away from the wall as well and just play into some of the tension that we feel in our neck. Just keeping that, holding that position for a few breaths. And then exhaling and stepping out of it. We'll straighten the arm and now bring your fingertips to point away from you without locking the elbow or lifting the shoulder up. So a little bend in the elbow is a good idea here. Keep your shoulders level and then slowly begin with your palm pressing into the wall to rotate your body away from the hand and the wall. You go as far as you need to here. And if you're pressing into your hand, you'll feel this all the way down the tendons of the forearm into your hand and your fingertips. We can then switch and just move that hand a little bit higher up on the wall, kind of on the diagonal. And here again, move your body slowly away. Try to be careful to keep the shoulder down so that we're really targeting more of the stretch in the arm and the hand itself. And then the last piece is to bring the hand down, and you can feel maybe more possibility of rotation there as you let your fingertips come to the wall. We'll just release out of this and take a couple of arm swings, so soft knees and just kind of swinging your arm forward and back. Notice how it feels, and swinging it around, moving it around a little bit there. And we're getting ready to take this on the other side. And so you can bring your left hand and forearm onto the wall. Step forward with your right foot back with your left in a little lunge position here. And then kind of pressing into the wall, just letting this open up the front of your shoulder, the front of your chest. Breathe here in and out, nice and steady. Notice where you feel the sensation. If you need to go deeper, you can. If it feels very strong, you can back off. And staying with your breath here, you can try shifting your head, just tipping your head away from the arm and the wall there. Notice what that brings. I like to move this as I did on the other side and just experiment with what is here. And then we'll release. And this time your arm will be straight and at shoulder height. Take a little bend in the elbow so that it's not locked, and with the fingers pressing into the wall, slowly move your body at an angle from the wall to create the stretch. Just to the degree that you need to go, without allowing that left shoulder to sneak upwards, and without locking at your elbow. Rotate back, and we're going to place the hand up on the diagonal. So high diagonal here, and again, spread your fingers, press them into the wall, and then you can start to angle a little bit further out from the wall. I find this one to be a little bit more intense sometimes, so maybe that positioning, that moving away from the wall is to a lesser degree. And stay with your breath. And then we'll slide the hand down so it's on a lower diagonal, and here you'll have more range of motion more than likely. So you can just feel that out and take a breath, and then bring it back to a neutral spine. Here we'll release the arm again and give it a few of those swings in both directions and just swing it out and let it go. And then from there, just relaxing both hands, you can shake them out. And we're going to bring ourselves into another little exercise here from Goddess. So go ahead and take a nice straddle position, knees tracking over your toes, toes turned out. And we'll stretch our arms out at shoulder height, and then we're going to curl the fingers in, but keep the thumbs pointing upwards. We're just going to do this a few times, curling and uncurling the fingers. So the thumbs stay up, and you curl the fingers in, and then you reach them back out. Good time. Stay in your legs there to add that element to the practice. And then we're going to take our thumbs and bring our thumbs into the palm. Bring your fingers over the thumbs. And here, this is a little stretch for the thumb itself. You're going to just angle your knuckles down towards the mat and bring them back up. And just do that a few times until you feel the stretch through the top of your forearm and into that thumb tendon. Rotating downwards and then releasing. And just kind of roll your fingers out. Swing your arms a couple of times. We'll stay in Goddess for this, just inhaling, and as you exhale, swing them down. Inhale up and exhale down. That's it. Nice and loose, nice and easy. And this next time, you can just slowly bring yourself out of Goddess and step your feet together. And we're going to bring ourselves down to the mat and take a little wrist clear. This is something that I use all the time to create space in the wrist itself with all of its little bones. So you circle one hand with the other. Let's use the left hand to circle the right. And you're going to use your left fingers and thumb to manipulate the right wrist. So imagine that you're trying to kind of press upwards to give space, and then to rotate the bones and move the hand around. And from there, you can bring your left thumb into your right palm, and you're just going to gently massage upwards from the center of the palm towards your fingers. So these can all get quite tight. These tendons can get tight and tired. And so kind of massaging, you can even go right out to the ends of your fingertips. Kind of going through one tendon and one finger at a time here. And then you can grab hold of your meaty thumb at the base where you feel that kind of nice meaty area. And you can give that a little squeeze as well. And when you're done with all of that, we'll switch over. We'll do our wrist clear on the other side. Use your right hand to hold on to the left wrist, and then manipulating. So this movement shouldn't come from your left hand. It should come from the right moving the left. And we're just kind of going to circle and release. And then you can go into that little massage in the palm. So using your thumb to slide up the inside of the palm towards your fingers, maybe all the way out the ends of your fingertips here. All the way from the base to the tip. And you can do this for each one of your fingers in turn. And then you can go ahead and grab your thumb at the base there. And you can do the same thing, just a little bit of a squeeze and then kind of pulling outwards. And just wipe your palm off. Shake everything out there. Great work. I hope you found this practice useful, and feel free to come back to it anytime you need to get those wrists as you need them. Thanks for joining me.